Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Full-Time Banter Show. This is the FPL section. My name is Tariq.
I'm Liam.
I'm Riz and I'm back.
Hey, he's back. Yeah, but where have you been anyway?
In hiding.
Yeah, we'll touch on what's going on with your team anyway later. But before we carry on, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Yeah, follow us on Twitter at FullTimeBanter7. If you're not already, like I've said in the past couple of shows, absolutely crucial now that you follow us on Twitter because it's coming to a crucial part of the season and the information that's flying about is really handy. So if you want to stay ahead of the game, get ahead in your mini leagues or improve your overall rank, you need to be on there. Chaps, interesting, that's a nice brew. You got your brew as well. It's cold outside, snowing.
Nippy.
It is. We're bang in the middle of game week 24. We're on Wednesday, so last night some interesting fixtures, and we're going to start there. Just to let you know, we'll be talking about the double game week coming up next week, game week 25, and then the blanks in 27, and then we'll just briefly touch on the upcoming blanks and doubles as well. But to last night, key talking points, chaps.
Interesting one.
Anybody want to kick it off?
Go on, Liam.
Personally, from an FPL standpoint, the Everton result was really good for me because Richarlison, I was umming and ahhing, being against Huddersfield, and I thought, I don't know what to do. Scored after 3 minutes, worth keeping him in. So from that aspect,
for now,
it was very good for me.
For now, because again, I've not seen the extended highlights or anything, but was it a bit lucky again? Is it, is he going to keep it up?
Probably not, but there's tablets you can take for that, so I'm hoping that he'll...
for your sake, Liam.
Yeah, for my sake.
Maybe he needs some of those, because he has been on and off, should we say.
We honestly don't know. We don't know.
That's been the story of most of Richarlison's season, considering he started off really well, then playing out position, playing up front, then he had a red card, then he had an injury, then he came back, couldn't get his groove, for a couple of games.
This is what we were saying last week, is that it seems to be mirroring last season at Watford when, but the blame there was put on Marco Silva leaving, so he had a great start and then it just fell off a cliff. Similar sort of things seems to be happening now.
I think with Richarlison's case anyway, I think the problem is Everton are inconsistent, and I think that has an impact on most of the players. And that's not just Richarlison, but it's also for example, Pickford. I know you're not a big fan of him, but Pickford at the back, defenders. Dini has a couple of good games, then he goes off the boil. You've got Sigurdsson, who starts off scoring goals. People think, right, he's the next differential, bring him in, goes off the boil. Richarlison goes, and I think Marco Silva is finding it difficult to get consistency with his team, and I think that's what Everton is struggling. The games you'd expect them to, and even last night, after 3 minutes, they scored. What was the score in the end? 1-0.
1-0, exactly.
So,
what I'm saying.
that's the point where you think they're going to steamroll teams, and then after that, it just dies out.
So yeah, fair enough. So Everton, like I say, I've not been convinced all season, but then I thought, you know what, we're gonna have to get on this Digne, because Doherty was well out of form for me, so I was gonna get rid of Doherty anyway, and the Wolves. So yesterday's results regarding Wolves, we'll have to have a look at that. The past two, in fact.
Fantastic.
But Digne the clown.
What happened, T? What happened?
I've had him in for 2 weeks. What was the score? Game week 1?
-1.
-1. And
-2.
yesterday,
Was it -2?
-2.
-2, because he got sent off.
Yes, so -3 is on, plus the -4 paid to get him in. So I'm down 7 points already on Digne's transfer.
That's about 50,000 drop, mate.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Considering. Anyway, moving on from Everton, I think we could go on about them night after night, but the biggest surprise of the night was Newcastle against Man City.
Rafa
Bloody hell. And like I was saying to you guys off camera before, 24 seconds, scores, and you think it's going to be a rout. Everyone's going to get in on the act.
The commentator said
it's just going to be a case of Sane scoring, Sterling. Yeah. Everyone's going to get bonus points.
Yeah, but no, didn't work out that way.
Though.
Sane only got 2 for me. I've got Aguero. Luckily, he got the goal. But I saw one guy with Edison 1 point, Laporte 0. And Sterling 1 point.
Crazy.
Yeah, for that amount of investment.
Well, you must have been happy because you've still got Rondon, haven't you?
I have. Rondon's doing the business, honestly.
Come in for you and
it's been brilliant for a budget buy. had some hope for him, but then the fixtures got tougher. But he's rode him out. He's had a couple of blanks, but he's been brilliant.
Yeah,
you get some return, so it's not too
Definitely
bad.
so.
That moves on to your next question with Rondon and Newcastle. Do you think he's going to give you more returns? Are you going to stick with him now?
With Rondon, I think I am, because he's covered me for the points I may have missed through Jimenez, because I've not got him, or even Wilson, who is missing out tonight again.
He's injured.
He is, isn't he? Yeah, so he's not even on the bench. Solanke's on the bench, interestingly. Let's see if he comes on. Yeah,
he will come on.
But yeah, I mean, City just looked flat, looked, clear out of ideas.
I think City got cocky.
Yeah.
Looking at some of the highlights that I did, because I was watching the United Burnley game, we'll touch on that in a second, but I think City, after 24 seconds, I thought it's a stroll in the park.
Yeah.
We're just going to give it to Newcastle, because normally Newcastle, you've got to break them down, because you know what they like. Rafa sits back and likes to defend, but they got the breakthrough, and then they were just complacent, absolutely lacked ideas, and just movement is slow, pedestrian at times.
A lot of that reminded me of some Liverpool games we've had this season, where it's been the same. We've not had any creativity, we've not been able to penetrate or break down the opposition.
Like that game against Brighton, when you played Brighton, it reminded me of that, but you snuck out a result.
Yeah, it's a difference, isn't it? You still managed to keep grinding them out, whereas City have an off day and they don't.
Well,
City
this is the thing,
they
had David Silva and KDB on the pitch, so you'd think, I mean, they're legendary creative masters.
You know, my personal theory behind this, and I think it's probably a bit cynical, but I think Pep doesn't help himself with his rotation. I think if you look at any team in the past, or even like Liverpool's team, obviously there are a few changes that Klopp makes, but it's not major surgery. You know, there's this team that's out. He knows out of the 11 players, I'm going to have 9 players starting. Maybe the odd difference with Shaqiri maybe coming in or Keita coming in, etc.
Interestingly on that, I mean, Liverpool, Klopp, and I can see the exact same thing in Arsenal. I don't know if I mentioned it on the show now, that Emery uses the same two systems.
Yeah.
They've got the flat 3 in midfield, or they go for the 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 plans. Pep doesn't have. He's got the same plan. He just rotates the wingers.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, it's his own downfall, I think, and they are going to suffer.
Has this got anything to do with the fact that they've played now 2 or 3 games since Liverpool have played last? So is it congestion?
No, I don't think so, because if you ask anyone who's a footballing person and knows their football, will tell you that the strength and depth of City's squad is better than every team in the Premiership.
Fair
and if they're using that as an excuse, fatigue, congestion of pile-up fixtures, this, that, the other.
To be fair, he hasn't. The excuse he has used is that we've got a tough run in now.
They have, but this is the thing.
You've got to play everyone twice.
Everyone has to play each other twice, and also it's just unpredictable in terms of how the fixtures roll out. I mean, now you've got the cups coming in, the FA Cup, and obviously they've made it to the latter stages. Well, in the final of now the Carabao Cup, which you're not likely on.
League Cup.
But if he wants to win it, he has to use the full strength of his squad.
And he has, to be fair, he did rotate heavily. So
Well,
no excuses there, Pep.
No.
Yeah, I mean, should have done like us and just got out and knocked out of the cups
early.
Exactly. We're going to carry on with City, but let's quickly mention then a couple of other points yesterday. Then United, surprise draw against Burnley.
Yeah. Personal thoughts on that was, I think Solskjaer got a bit carried away, rotation-wise as a game, because...
Accommodate Lukaku, didn't he?
Yeah, but I would have probably played Sanchez, and I probably wouldn't have started with Pereira. And I think with that, he's been talking...
Did he underestimate Burnley?
No, because he came out in his press conference and he goes, Burnley are going to be a physical team, they're going to come out here, he knew exactly what they were like.
So...
But the United... whole game, I watched the whole game from United from start to finish, was we were pedestrian. We started very slow, nothing like how we've been aggressive and coming out quick and attacking the teams. We just sat back. And I think Solskjaer was right. Post-match, he said, we were playing as if we were 1-0 up already. And that was the attitude.
Anything?
Yeah, I think a draw isn't the best result, but the way that we got the draw helped with both goals coming after the 85th minute. And it was like the United of old, not giving up. So obviously you'd rather win. But in terms of, proving to ourselves or themselves that they can still do that, and get the late goals, nothing wrong with that, because we're not going for the top anyway. So I'd rather have these morale-enhancing performances and
to counter that then, to play devil's advocate, it was Burnley, at home.
It was,
It
but
wasn't like it was Arsenal when he came back against.
But then again,
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but you've probably seen yourself over the last few weeks, Burnley have been improving. From the Burnley of the start of the season to now, they have knuckled down and got better. Dyche has literally gone, listen, you're coming up to the end of the season, it's up to you now to start sorting yourselves out at the back, and they have become very good. I thought Tom Heaton, our ex-player, fantastic, he was absolutely brilliant. Although Rashford missed a couple of sitters, United just were off the boil a bit in the first half, and I think that might come to cost us in the top floor later on, so we'll see what happens.
Well,
exciting news, Tyke. What's
exciting
happening?
news. As I said, we're in the middle of game week 24, and it's only just kicked off. But Liverpool are 1-0 up with a Mane goal. No assist, unfortunately.
None of you got Mane, so it's alright.
We'll take that. We'll take that. Yeah. Shaqiri's playing. And just while we're on it, then players we're looking out for today in the games. Higuain starts for Chelsea. Alonso dropped, which is has been the talk that he's kind of lost faith in Alonso now. I mean, we told you first. We're on Louise over here.
All about Louise.
Yeah, so if you've still got Alonso, serves you right. But yeah, Hazard out on the wing. Southampton and Crystal Palace, let's see how that goes. Both informed teams, defensively and Southampton in attack, you could say.
Southampton have started to do better with the new manager, coming back and trying to
Definitely. Shaqiri starts for Liverpool, I've got him, hope he does something. And Son starts for Spurs, so let's see how Son looks tonight.
Spurs against Watford and at home as well. Very quickly, just touch on that while you said the players there to watch out for tonight. Higuain, I'm going to see how he goes, but at 9.5, I don't think he's worth bringing in.
No.
Not at that price. Not with the strikers that are around at the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a great finisher, isn't he? I've been watching some of his old highlights reel. Great finisher, but like I was trying to find and put on the group for us was a stats graph of his past few seasons as his moved club. And it's dropping, his output is dropping, and mainly it translates to his loss of pace, where
he's 31, isn't he?
He's beginning to shoot further and further out from goal.
And the Premiership is a punishing league, and if he thinks he's going to get it easy, he's got another thing coming.
Well, that's it. I mean, at best, all I can see him being is a backboard like Giroud and Morata wasn't good at that. But
I think Morata's downfall was he won't get in the service that was coming in, to be honest with you. But moving on from that anyway.
Let's get on to the main business of the week then. The double game week news. Which you should know by now, even if you're new to FPL this season. Double game week 25 was surprisingly announced because last week we said, Riz, and all the news said that it's very highly unlikely.
It'll happen.
But due to the congestion pilot, we've got a double game week in 25, which if you don't know what that means, basically means that City and Everton are going to play 2 games each in the next game week, which spans Saturday, Sunday, Monday and Wednesday. Yeah, so don't get caught out. The games are Everton versus Wolves, Man City versus Arsenal, and then Everton at home to Man City. Yeah, so there was a big hoo-ha, big furore over, going to load up on City players, load up on Everton players. Where do we stand on that now, Liam? Give us your take first.
Like I said, just at the start of the show there about Richarlison, I was looking at after Huddersfield getting rid of. Now it's a double game week for me personally. There's no point getting rid of him. No. Even though they're against Wolves, who I would say are more informed than Everton at the minute, and City, who you would still expect to beat Everton at this moment in time. But it's there's 4 points instead of 2, providing nothing goes wrong and he doesn't break his leg or get regarded. But it makes sense to hold on to him from that aspect. Personally, from City, I have nothing.
Right.
So I might be looking at bringing somebody in the midfield just to have the double ups on the old points.
Well, to ask you in a second, have you rolled any transfers this week?
Yeah, I've got 2. So I've got 2 to use, so I'm going to use one definitely, just sort of used it because I feel I don't like having 2 and not using it.
Riz, your thoughts?
I very much think if you've got the players, keep them. If you haven't, don't bother. That's my personal
Really? Don't bother getting anyone, not even City?
Don't bother because, I mean, looking at City at the moment, if it was a City of the first 10 weeks of the Premier League and they were hot on form and they were doing the business, I would have said possibly maybe look at one or two key inform players. But at the moment, everyone's gone off the boil. There's rotation risk with Aguero, with Jesus. There's rotation risk with Sane and Sterling. There's rotation risk with bringing in Silva and Bernardo Silva, David Silva. Where are you going to go? With Everton, you don't know which Everton's going to turn up. Dini, as you mentioned, he's got sent off. Pickford just about kept a clean sheet. Richarlison on and off for your sake, Liam. I hope he scores. I just don't know what people are going to get out of it, personally speaking. I mean, it's a gamble because Wolves ain't no mugs. They're playing really well. They've just done West Ham over and they're in form. City Arsenal ain't particularly going to be easy. Okay?
Not after Arsenal wildly.
Exactly. And City are going to have to try and prove a point, so most likely probably play his best team. And then, because of the Champions League coming up, with the Everton game, then there's going to be another risk of rotation.
Well, with the Champions League now, they've bloody stretched it that far now. Apparently, there's only one game in February.
It is,
so it's not as heavy
but
load as
they're going to be looking at that because if you think of it realistically, I mean, Carabao Cup, if they win it, fair enough. They're playing Chelsea, that ain't really going to mean much to them,
Yeah.
They're after the Premier League. Given what happens with Liverpool tonight, I don't think 7 points, unfortunately, they'll be able to catch them. Champions League will be priority, and I don't think they're really going to take the FA Cup seriously.
Yeah,
so
true. Champions League's got to be their priority.
Mega change. I don't know if you agree with them points, but
I do in part because, well, I'll tell you where I stand, because on last week's video I advised everyone to roll your transfer if you could. So you've got 2 transfers to try and deal with it if you need or if you want to get some players in.
Yeah.
My situation was that prior to that, not you could say by accident, but not by design for game week 25, I brought Digne in last. Digne and Sane I brought in together for -4. And Aguero had got in the week before that. Aguero got on the theory, which is still holding water to a point, that Aguero's been played in the away games. Apart from the City game, the Liverpool game, that was the anomaly there. But Jesus was getting the home games, Aguero's getting the away games. Don't take that as
gospel.
Exactly, yeah. Anything could happen, but
can I just make a brief comment on away games there?
Yeah.
Who scored 2 goals last night away from home?
Glenn Murray. But then who got shafted?
Glenn Murray. 2 goals
Right.
away from home.
Away from home, yes, he did.
But then they
Just wanted to
got
throw that out there. Anyway,
It's only taken us how many months to get.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Who were they against? Brighton. Fulham.
They're losing. No, they're losing. Fulham were losing 2-0.
2-0. And then they changed the back line, didn't they? And, fantastic they were.
Sorry, mate. Carry on. I just wanted to throw that
out.
Well,
no, interesting then, because Mitrovic came back into the
mix.
Yeah, you got 2 up in here, I think.
Yeah, so another one to keep an eye on. But yeah, getting back to my point was, I had Digne, Sane, and Aguero, so I didn't need to roll my transfer because I've no intention of getting any more of. Definitely, I'm not a fan of Richarlison. I wasn't going to get him in anyway, and I'm not going to get in any more City players. I was tempted by the thought of Edison, upgrading to Edison, but no. After seeing it's still true to form, they're going to concede.
Stay as it is.
So my plan is then, because here's the flip side of it now. Who are you looking at? I mean, let's give people a list of players potentially, all things being equal, that you might have considered getting in. From Everton, we've talked about Richarlison. Digne was going to be if you didn't have him.
And Sigurdsson is a difference.
Yeah, Sigurdsson. But it's obvious ones from City. You could, depending on how adventurous you're feeling, you could go for Edison, Laporte, Sane, Sterling.
Stay away from Laporte.
Aguero.
Yeah.
So saying I've got to agree with you, Riz, in that respect then. It is a bit tough to try and predict, because what's he going to do now? Is he going to completely reshuffle the pack to give him a kick up the backside? Or, personally, if I've got to recommend a player for the viewers, I'm still going to stay Sane. If you're going to go for someone, I think he likes Sane, he favours Sane. Benjamin Mendy's still out. I don't think he's going to risk chucking him in. The reason I think he's not going to shuffle and rotate, because rotation this year, I don't know if it's because they're chasing Liverpool, but they're just not rotated as much, as heavily as he did last season.
Yeah.
And I think he will stick to less rotation purely because of that fact that they have to chase us.
They've got to make the points.
True.
Yeah.
You got to play your strongest team, I think, personally. in regards with that. But I don't think injuries have helped him with Mendy and KDB being out for such a
True.
long period of time. But
So on a recommendation then for the viewers, if they've saved the 2 transfers or they want to get the assets in, who are you recommending, if anyone, from any of the, from Everton or City?
I'd go Sane, purely because of the price tag and also what you can do on the football pitch. In terms of, you're going to compare him to like Sterling, for example, like 11-point odd.
Yeah.
There's a massive difference in price value.
And form and stats, I'd say, are not back in
No,
Sterling.
exactly. And the other one, if you want to have a punt, but I personally probably would stay away, but Jesus maybe, considering that he's had a run of games, he's got a bit of form behind him, and obviously Aguero started this one, but given the double game week, he might surprise a couple of people and bring Jesus and think, right,
True.
go for it and do what you can.
Liam, anyone?
Everton, nobody. I think we've pretty much all in agreement on that.
If they haven't got Richarlison, are you recommending getting in Richarlison?
Nah, it's not worth it.
No.
I'm only keeping him because I've got him and he happens to have a double. City-wise, nobody's mentioned KDB. Has he not been doing anything in the league?
He hasn't. He's got the past couple of games now under his belt.
Yeah,
including the cup games.
He's got a cracker as well in the cup game in the FA Cup, but I don't think KDB is going to give you as big a return as to maybe one or two of the attacking City players, for example.
Similar or same price as Sane, isn't he? So
No, yeah, 9-7.
Exactly.
So if KDB had more minutes, I'd definitely be looking at him. But I've got to agree with Riz. Sane would be my if I'm going to do
I
anything.
think we kind of agreed on that.
Yeah,
Sane, because with the strikers again, I mean, here's a word of warning as well to expect if it's your first time round and you're thinking they've got a double game week, we're going to get 180 minutes worth of points. You're not.
You'd be lucky.
They're not going to play the 2 full games, whichever player you get in, unless you get in Edison. Yeah, but then you're not going to get a lot of points. So expect that. Be warned about that. They're not likely to play whoever you get the full. Well, maybe Richarlison might. Yeah, but
I think. Sorry to cut you short there.
No, that's fine.
I think one of the other things in terms of what you're giving out, obviously key advice there in terms of players and who you're going to get in. Be mindful that they're never play 180 minutes, but also be mindful that they may play a double game week here now. Somewhere later down the line, they're going to have a game week where they're not going to play at all.
well, this is it. This is what we've
So
said now.
you're going to have a pitfall of bringing in 3 City players, 3 Everton, and I've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
And then they've got 6 players out of a possible starting
I think
team.
we touched on that, didn't we? Don't overload because 2 weeks down the line, game week 27, these same teams, City, Everton, Chelsea and Brighton, all blank, do not play. They do not play in game week 27, so you're going to have to bench or get rid. So if you've got that many players, if you've got 6 players, 3 from Everton, 3 from City, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's why we say not to overload and go crazy. Maybe just get the extra one in. Because Chelsea in blank game week 27, that's an interesting one because we've got Chelsea players, we've got Louise.
Yeah, we've got Hazard.
Yeah, so another one to bear in mind. So even though Chelsea aren't participant in the double game week, they will be playing, but they're only playing once. They're going to blank in 27 due to cup games. Yeah. So we'll leave it on that note. Final one quickly then, which I think I know what the answer is going to be. Are we risking a triple captaincy on anyone?
No.
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 Not in this game.
No. I think the common theme this year on Twitter from the top end players is it might even just be one of the form players from a single game week. Most likely Salah. Some people are saying when Liverpool play Huddersfield or when we play Bournemouth. Personally, I'm favouring Bournemouth because they're quite open. Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens there. Somebody last night triple captained Aubameyang.
Ooh.
Yeah, against Cardiff and did very well because he got a goal and an assist, and I think that got him 36 points. So yeah, all good.
Fair play.
Right, so a quick update then. Palace have scored.
Zaha.
With a Townsend assist. Townsend's coming into form. Done well past few games. So Southampton conceded there, so their defence was in form. But not so good today. Right.
Are the others still 0-0?
Yes, apart from Liverpool 1-0 still, yeah. So remember that. Just a quick recap then. Don't go overloading on Everton or City players. They're both out of form. Don't triple captain them is our recommendation. And be thinking about what you're going to do with them when they blank in game week 27. So again, maybe you want to roll your transfer in 26, so you've got 2 transfers to deal with that in 27. Moving on then, going to touch on this one. This one can get quite heavy and complicated, so we're going to keep it brief until we get closer to these game weeks, and that is basically the rest of the double game weeks and blank game weeks coming up. So have a look at this table that I'm going to put up now, and I'll leave it on for quite a while. Yeah, so you don't have to look at our mugs, but screenshot this. This is what I used to do. Any useful information, screenshot it, save it. Yeah, this table is compiled by Ben Krellin, who is, you know, the master of the double game weeks. Each year he sorts this spreadsheet, this database out. Basically what you're looking at is all the teams in green will only have a single game week between now and the end of the season, guaranteed. So everyone in green, yeah? So I'll write down what I've written here to give you an idea. As you can see, Bournemouth, Burnley, Huddersfield, Leicester and Liverpool are the 5 clubs that we can now definitely say will avoid blanks in game weeks 27, 31 and 33, and definitely will not have any doubles either. So singles all the way, no blanks, no doubles. And I've put in weather permitting there, because usually if the weather's really bad like it is, not usually in the stadiums anymore, but the surrounding areas, they do call games off. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Have you had a chance to have a look at this? Is there anything obvious stands out to you guys that you want to talk about, or shall I run through?
No, run through it, because I think straightforward points to the single game weeks for like Liverpool, for example. You know, I think it's quite important considering where they end up over the next couple of weeks, and those single game weeks will probably predict as to who you should get from their team or not.
Definitely. So I mean, the thing that stands out for me is between now and the end of the season, you've got to have some Liverpool players. Yeah, Salah, you definitely have to have. People are still going without Salah. Yeah. Leicester, we said a couple of weeks ago, game week 27 onwards, their fixtures get better. Yeah. So we were looking at the likes of Pereira, the fullback there.
Ricardo Pereira, yeah.
Yeah, he was looking good. Huddersfield, we'll have to wait and see what they're like. Yeah,
avoid.
Yeah, well, let's see what happens with the new manager. It might be some budget players in there for your bench boost potentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Burnley are in form. And here I'm going to tip you a couple of players, because if you've been watching us regularly, you know a few weeks ago I did the form table. I'm still keeping that up to date. I just don't want to chuck it in every episode, but I'll mention the names that highlight when I do the form table for points per million and value. And Burnley have a number of good players. In particular, the midfielders McNeil and Westwood.
Yeah.
Very cheap, around about the 4 point odd mark. I can't remember the exact price. If you have a look, I think it's 4.4, and I think one's at 4.5. But both going under the radar and very good differentials. Excellent for your bench when in these blank game weeks your bench will come into action, and potentially if you're playing bench boost in any of these weeks. I'll mention that in a second. And Bournemouth, Callum Wilson when he comes back in might be still worth a look. Mm-hmm. Anyone else from Bournemouth?
I think Fraser will still be there or thereabouts. Brooks, definitely one to consider. And even I think to an extent Begovic.
He's been dropped, you know.
Yeah,
Boric looks to be nicked his place.
Well, I think he'll be coming back.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think, keep an eye on that.
Just keep an eye, because I was reading some earlier in the week saying that Boric is only coming to purely give Begovic recuperation time, just to kind of get over things a little bit, and then he'll be fresh and ready to come straight back into it.
Right.
So, let's see.
So, getting back to the table then, if you have a look, double game week 25 we know about, the teams in yellow got the double fixtures. Game week 26, which isn't listed, which means it's a regular single game week for everybody. Game week 27 is a confirmed blank. So the teams that you can see on the left, the ones at the top of the table in bold, apart from Everton, are all still involved in the FA Cup. So as soon as we get round 5 of the FA Cup, then we can know what the fixtures, where they stand for each week. So that's why we're not going to go into too much detail. It's going to be as and when we get news on those, yeah? But all the teams in green will feature in game week 27. 28, 29, 30 are regular game weeks, single game weeks. Game week 31. Now here's where the round. I think this is the fifth couple of the fifth round. Anything could happen here. Yeah. So all the teams in pink. We don't know what's happening with those fixtures, or where they're going to play. 32 then is a double for the ones that blank. Yeah. And again, there's some teams that might have a single game week. Everton, Arsenal, City might have a double again. 33 then immediately afterwards is a blank again for the teams in pink. And then followed again by game week 34 is a regular week. Game week 35 then is a double with all the teams in blue and yellow. Yeah. And then 36, 37, 38 we're assuming at the moment are regular single game weeks, but there is talk that there might still potentially be a double in 38.
38?
Yes.
Ooh.
A double in 38 for...
That's interesting.
Because we've got to fit in Chelsea, Brighton somewhere. That fixture's got to go in.
So I thought I was going to go 37, but yeah, 38.
It might be 37, but the talk is 38.
Fair play.
Yeah, so we're going to give you more detailed information on that as we get it, yeah? So just a quick rundown again then, the confirmed fixtures for game week 31, which is the first major blank, is Bournemouth versus Newcastle, Burnley at home to Leicester, Fulham at home to Liverpool, West Ham at home to Huddersfield. And then confirmed fixtures again in 33, the other blank is Bournemouth at home to Burnley, Everton versus Arsenal, Huddersfield versus Leicester, and Southampton versus Liverpool. Yeah. So as you can see, I mean, the only sort of confirmation we have is that game week 31 blanks are more likely to move to game week 32, hence the double, and game week 33 blanks are most likely to move to double game week 35. That leads us to, that's a bit of a, mashes your head a bit that if it's the first time you've come across it. Don't stress too much about it. Like I say, take a screenshot of this, save it, and we'll be able to update and fill in this table as we get closer to each game week, yeah? But something you should be thinking about is chip strategy. Have you had a chance to think about that at all yet at the moment? Any thoughts on it whatsoever?
Go on, Liam.
Vinegar and ketchup on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a ketchup man.
Fried?
Ketchup in the fridge, ketchup out of the fridge.
Out the fridge? Was in the fridge?
Yeah.
Just asking you.
Fucking hate when they put ketchup in the fridge and it's freezing.
People do that. People weird.
They do, but seriously. I know.
Savages. Anyway, you don't get me started on that. No,
I don't like ketchup.
No?
I don't like ketchup. I'm a brown sauce man.
But you need tomatoes.
Brown sauce and everything. Yeah, I love tomatoes.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah. No, I've not given any thought to it, to be honest, really. The only one that's really going to bat me in the ass is bench boost, because my bench is shit. But in terms of free hitting and wildcarding to match up with these, no, not really. I'll try and keep one back as late as I can, for 37, 38, just to try and have a bit of a boost towards the back end, which did work well for me one year.
Yeah. Not last year.
No, not last year. But yeah, no, I've not given it any thought at the minute.
Well, I'm here for you, Liam. Yeah, because I've got a couple of strategies. Essentially, it's the same strategy, but it's just which way around you're going to do it. So maybe pay attention to this bit, because here's how you might want to use your remaining chips. And I'm working on the assumption that you still have your free hit and you still have your wild card.
Unless you used it in game week 1 and 2.
Which was a bit silly. You might still be able to get away with it, because here's the other thing about this year's blanks and doubles is that they reckon there's going to be fewer blanks, which makes it easier to deal with just, if you're rolling 2 transfers. Whereas in previous years there's been a lot of blanks, so fewer teams actually playing. So you've had to transfer out a lot of players and get in a lot of players.
Last year's was shit. Last year's been horrible.
Indeed.
Yeah, but here you go. What you could do, here's one thing you could do is free hit. Use your free hit chip in game week 32. Yeah, so that would mean that you would get in all the players who are playing in the double game week, load up on those. Then it would revert back to
your normal team.
Yeah, your normal team, win the blanks. So you'll have planned for those blanks, hopefully, prior, yeah? It takes prior planning. So you'll have planned for players and not got in players who are blanking in 31 and 33. So your free hit in 32 to load up on the double game week players, revert back then, and then what you would do is get a wildcard in game week 34 for all the doubles again in game week 35 and players till the end of the season. And you might then want to bench boost in game week 35 as well on a double, yeah. Because I don't think we've mentioned this prior, some people might still not be aware, you can't use 2 chips in the same game week. So you've just wildcarded or just free hit, you can't then triple captain or bench boost at the same time. Everything's got to be in a separate week, yeah. The other strategy is, like I say, it's essentially the same, but you're swapping your wildcard for free hit. So you wildcard first in 32, and then you would free hit in 33, then go back to your wildcard team for 34 or 35, and you'll be able to bench boost in 35 as well. I think both work equally well. I haven't fully studied it yet, but I'm currently leaning towards a free hit first, because it gives you more time to plan and prepare for the definite teams, which in what looks like possibly the bigger double game week in 35. Yeah. So again, don't panic, don't worry too much about this. Yeah, we'll run through this again. Yeah, because as we say, there might still be a third double game week in 38, which might influence plans as well.
Triple captain.
Triple captain, yeah. I mean, again, people have always been inclined to try and play it in a double game week, obviously because a player plays twice. For me, last year it did not work out. I triple captain Sterling in a Man City double game week, and he only played the second half of the second game and got me 3 points.
Hey!
So I mean, triple captain, I won't think it's, it can do very well for you, but essentially if you look at it this way, that you're getting an extra 30% of the points of your captain, whoever you might captain anyway. So just always just think about who your form players that you were going to captain anyway, and stick your triple captain on him. Yeah. So I think we'll leave it at that. Any final points you want to mention?
You hit the nail on the head there. So it's a good overview of the chips available to play.
Hopefully it's been informative, and useful, and not too much, not too confusing. But if you have any questions, I know I was talking to Stuart today, Team Quackers. He's obviously first season in the game, so he wanted to know about this. So hopefully that's been useful, Stuart. But if you've got any specific questions, just let me know. Yeah. That's about it. Watford are leading Spurs.
Wicked.
1-0. Liverpool still 1-0. Palace still 1-0. And Bournemouth and Chelsea 0-0. So, this Hazard thing, he is a troll, I'm telling you. Because people are still counting on him smashing Bournemouth and getting a decent result. Yeah?
Crazy stuff.
So, we're ahead of the curve here, because we told you to get rid of Alonso, and we told you not to get Hazard. But that's it.
Hopefully those results ain't going to look too bad in United.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. So, see how it goes. That's it for this week. We shall see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.